We're back! Oh my god, I'm so excited! So excited, okay? Get into it.
All right, girls. Well, we rehearsed.
To the left, to the left. To the left, to the left. To the left, to the left. Everything you own in a box to the left. In the closet, that's my stuff. Yes, if I bought it, say, don't touch.
Girl, we sound mad good.
What's good, what's popping, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning into yet another episode of Everything Lelona, where we talk about everything and anything. Okay? Now, if you are new here, welcome, baby. I really hope that you'll enjoy this video that will make you hit that little subscribe button somewhere over here. And if you are a regular subscriber, I gang say one, what's good, what's up, what it's here. I really hope that you are well and that you are taking care of yourself. Okay? Now, before we get into this video, I would like to wish all of you guys a happy 24. I know I'm a bit late, but compliments to compliments. So happy new year. I hope this year brings you nothing but good fortune, good health, wealth, love, laughter, cute, everything cute, man, everything cute. Okay, so welcome to 2024. To this year we are going bigger and better, child. And the only way we are doing that is if you do the following. Like this video, comment down below, subscribe to my channel, do the most super thanks. That is the only way we can be able to go big this year. Okay? So with the pleasantries and the formalities done, grab yourself something to drink. Know that we are doing a story time, and this is a story time that you guys have been asking me to do for the longest time since I mentioned it, that Kukono Ankile, you were like, we want that video, we want that story, and this is that story time. So grab yourself something to drink, fasten your seatbelts because it's gonna be a bumpy ride. Let's get into the video. So, in one of my previous story times, I did mention how I met Ankile, right? But for this video, we are going to give him a different name because I can't be calling him Ankile when I'm like talking about him. So let's give him the name Steve. Okay? So we are going to name Ankile Steve, and I am going to start at how him and I met for those that were not, or for those that did not watch the video, or for those that are new on the channel. So this guy, I met him on a random night when a friend of mine, or an ex-friend of mine, had asked me to come out to one of her gigs. So this girl, Samantha, was a friend of mine, and she asked me to like come to the club because she was hosting there. So Samantha is a club host, she's a bottle girl, she's a club hostess, and. So she works in the nightlife scene, club scene, and. So she asked me this one evening, please come to the club with me, come see what I do, come see me work, and I was like, you know what, I am coming. So when I had gotten to the club where Samantha was, she then directed me to a section where some of her friends were, right? So when I get there, I see Samantha's friends, and I see this one older gent who was sitting there. Very gorgeous man, by the way. Very gorgeous. So he's sitting there where Samantha is like directing me. But I get introduced to everyone and him, and then they say, this is Ankile. At that point, I didn't know why they were calling him Ankile. But Samantha says, this is Ankile, and then Samantha leaves and goes back to the stage to do what she was doing that evening. Sharp. So there were conversations here and there, and eventually Ankile and I had a conversation. He introduces himself to me as Steve. I'm like, nice to meet you, Steve. I am Lelona. We start to have a conversation. Now, our conversation wasn't anything flirty or anything deep. We were just talking about anything and everything, right? Sharp. So at the end of this evening, I was really crossing fingers that this man asks for my number or asks me out or do something that would indicate that he wanted me. But he didn't. And I was like, really? Really? But at the end of the evening, one of the guys that Samantha works with asked for my number. So now, Samantha works with this guy, right? And then when Steve and I were having a conversation, he tells me that, Samantha and this guy are both my employees. So he basically owns and runs an agency that supplies establishments like clubs, pubs, bars, and strip clubs, whatever nightlife establishment. So he basically supplies them with hosts and hostesses and MCs, influencers, promoters. You want it, they've got it. So Samantha works for this agency and this man runs this agency. So the guy that Samantha works with asked for my number and then him and I started dating. So essentially I am dating Steve's employee, right? Sharp. This guy and I date for a while and things start to take a rocky turn. And while all of that is happening, one evening, I had gone out again to the same establishment that I had met Steve at. And when I got there, Steve was there again that evening. So he sees me and my friends walk in. We don't have a section to sit. It's either now we sit general or we find a way to get into VIP. So I see him and I go over to him. I speak to him and he's like, don't call your friends. I have this section all to myself. I call my friends, we chill with Steve, and Steve takes care of everything that evening. Now, when we are like chilling there with Steve, where Steve is at, Steve is like talking to me and he's really now showing interest. And I'm like, this is what I wanted you to do day one. But silapha ngoku endakondo, and you know what? If uyandifuna ndiyafumaneka. You want me? I can be yours. So we talk literally the entire night and eventually he asks for my number. And I think that evening he even took me home and I was like, we're vibing. I like his vibe, he likes mine, and we started talking from there. Now, this guy that I was dating at the time, and things were rocky between us. Eventually, I was like, you know what? Ndizawuvuma uSteve. I am going to say yes to Steve. And Steve knew I was dating this guy, but Steve wanted me as well, and I wanted Steve as well. Steve, firstly, bag. Secondly, Steve is more mature than this guy. Steve is more my type, because this guy was very flamboyant, he was very out there, he was very energetic with energy, and into the energy iyandoyisa. A man that is too energetic tends to overwhelm me, and I'm like, oh my God. So that's the type of guy that this guy was. Steve was very laid back. Steve gave you big man energy. You understand? He gave you who understands and who knows myself. I don't need to be out here proving myself. He has understand. So Steve was more my vibe. He was tall. He was light-skinned. He didn't really have a beard because I think Steve wanted to look younger, so he only had a goatee. But beautiful skin, beautiful body, very unomzimba. The body has some meat, and I was like, this is exactly what I like. Okay? Sure. So eventually, I leave this guy, and Steve and I start focusing on each other. Now, at this point, Steve hasn't asked me to be his boyfriend, but we've been hanging out, we've been chatting, we've been calling, we've been doing stuff even, but he hasn't asked me to be his boyfriend. And in my head, now Steve was already my man, even before he asked me to be his boyfriend, because if guys, I don't want to lie to you, if you are telling me how much you like me, and we end up in the bed together, and you do it consecutively, and you still, on ghost after you still come back and you bring gifts, you're doing everything that a boyfriend does. Boyfriend, I don't, I understand you, do not assume that someone is your man up until they ask you to be their man. But don't do what I do. Do what I say. And what I do is that I'm gonna be hypocritical and take a man that did not ask me to be their man and take them as my man. And say they're my boyfriend, even though they didn't ask me to be boyfriend. But Nina, don't do like that. Nina, you must wait up until he asks you, can you be my partner? You understand? Sharp. So to me at this point, Steve was my man, right? I don't know what he was thinking, because this one evening or this one day, Steve would, like, whenever Steve would come to my place, he would not go inside. He would always just be outside, call me, I go downstairs, I get into his car, and we drive off and go wherever he wants us to go, or wherever he had planned for us to go, right? Sharp. So this evening was no different. Steve had planned and had asked me to, like, be ready at a certain time, and he wants us to go have dinner. Sharp. So he calls me. He's like, I'm downstairs, and as per usual, I go downstairs and get into the car. When I get into the car, I see a bouquet of flowers on the passenger seat, and that is the biggest bouquet I've seen. Okay, like, biggest bouquet of flowers I've seen ever in my life. So I'm like, so whose flowers are these? He's like, they're yours. I'm like, why? Why? Because Steve had not bought me flowers. He had bought me several gifts, but flowers were never anything that Steve had bought me. So I didn't expect flowers from him. So I'm like, why did you get me flowers? He's like, no, tonight I want it to be a special night. And I'm thinking to myself, bro, every day with you is a special night for me. So what do you mean? We drive off. And I'm looking at these flowers and I'm smiling and I'm like, oh my God, I really like what's going on. And thank you so much for the flowers. We're talking, he's playing his favorite music on the radio. Obviously slow jams because older guy, right? He's like in his late 40s. I'm in my mid 20s at the time. So we drive off and we go to Fourways, right? We go to a restaurant that's in Fourways and we have our dinner. Dinner is beautiful. Dinner is beautiful. So by the way, Steve lives in the Fourways area in Dainfen. So after dinner, we were gonna go to his place. Remember? So we have dinner, and over dinner, Steve asks me to be his boyfriend. He's like, listen, you and I have been seeing each other for a while, and I don't believe in just doing things and going with the flow. I do want you to know where you stand. I do want to know where I stand with you as well. So with that being said, will you be my boyfriend? And I'm like, duh, you've been my boyfriend, Kum. Like, but obviously I didn't say that to him. I was like, oh my God, what do you mean? Oh my God, really? Yes, I'll be your boyfriend. I'll be your boyfriend. So now, Steve and I are officially boyfriend and boyfriend. Great. We head over to his house and we continue our celebrations at his place. Obviously, we are going to celebrate officially being together the best way we know how, and that is to be together. The things I say, there's nyanya nam. The things I say, there's nyanya, but you guys know. You guys know. So, Steve and I at this point are boyfriend and boyfriend, and things between the two of us are going smooth. We're still learning about each other, still getting to know each other, and Steve, remember I said Steve runs an agency where he hires a lot of influencers, hires a lot of promoters, and there's like, abantu that are in media and in the spotlight type of thing, limelight, whatever you call it. So when we started dating, it was very close towards the end of the year, right? Like, let's say September-ish. So we had our time together. Steve lives alone, by the way. We had our time together up until December. I went home. When I came back, Steve went to fetch me at the airport. So when he fetches me with a guy. There was a guy sitting on the passenger seat. So when I got to the car, Because Steve didn't fetch me inside. He was literally like, I'm by arrivals. No. So, yabo, come here. So I get there and I see that, oh, good passenger seat, there's someone else. So I go into the back seat. So when I ngingena back seat, ato Steve kulomfana, hi, Puma, when like get out of the car, go to the back, must come to the front. So knowing Steve is very private and secretive of our relationship. Not secretive, let me not, because he wasn't hiding me, right? He was very private about our relationship. So hearing him like say to this person, "Hi, when Puma emotweni, go to the back and must sit next to me." Yabo? I'm like, oh. So whoever this is, they probably know what's going on. They know about Steve's sexuality, because from what I had deduced, Abo Samantha was shocked when I told them that I am seeing Steve, because they were like, wait, what? Ankile does what? Yeah, well, like, it was, what do you mean? But so it was a cute thing to see him talk about me and refer to me as his partner. So like, oh my God, this is cute. So Nyanike, we switch seats with this guy, and as we're driving, Steve introduces me to this guy and says, because at this time I didn't really get or look at this guy kakuhle, like really look at him, because he was wearing a cap and yeah, well, it's a lot going on. So I didn't really look at him. So when Steve is like, oh, by the way, baby, this is let's say his name is Ngo. So baby, this is Ngo. No, this is Lelon. I turn around and look at Ngo. When I look at Ngo, I see someone I know, but we don't really know each other. I just know this guy from social media. So I'm like, oh my God, I know you. Aren't you an influencer? Because at the time, it was still the rise of the influencer culture. So I'm like, I know you. I've seen you on Instagram, Yeah, well. So Ati, so now Ati, no, I know you. So we know each other. Oh, Steve is like, Aibo, how do you guys know each other? We're like, no, I know him from social media. I've seen his posts. We follow each other. We know each other. We've never really spoken before, but we definitely know that. I know that he knows me, and he knows that I know him, because we've interacted and engaged with each other's content online. So we laugh about that we know each other. And so I'm like, so how do you know him? He's like, no, this is my nephew. Yeah, Bob? Sharp. He's younger than me, and so I'm not really interested in this guy more. So Steve, I'm sure at this point, like, I don't know what was going through his mind, but I would like to believe that he knew what I liked. He knew my type. He knew that he was my type, not this boy. Yeah, so we're just literally having general and casual conversations in the car. We are laughing, kumnand. So Steve tells me that Ungo is moving to Joburg from KZN, and he's gonna be staying with Steve. Like I said, Steve lives in Dainfen and has a huge ass house. But in his yard, there's a cottage. Cottage corner is another house. Like, I could literally live there with my family. Like, for real. So he's like, no, like cottage. No, because Anfuni are they in our business. Yeah. So we get to my apartment and Steve is like, no, please drop these clothes, pack a bag, and let's go to my place. Nyani, pack a bag and I go back to Steve's place. And then we spend the weekend, because I think I came back on a Friday. And he's like, no, we're going to spend the weekend together. Nyani, we spend the weekend together. Now, with Ngo here, there's someone that relates to me in terms of the culture, in terms of the things that we are into as peers, because him and I were peers. So we were literally talking about everything. Wow, it's a TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Steve, but this guy was, and he worked in social media, so he related a lot, or we related a lot on a lot of things. Sharp. The one comment is Steve, or from Steve, but I got in Suka M21. Like, because we were all sitting in one une couch with Steve and L. Yeah, so we're all sitting on this one couch. So he's like, Bekela wena, stop talking to my boyfriend like this. Yeah, you've been talking with my boyfriend. Move. Yeah, but at that point in time, to me, it was just innocent what he was saying. It didn't really, I didn't feel like he really meant what he was saying. To me, it was just innocent, but I man, never. Like, he doesn't, I don't think he means it. And I didn't read too much into it. So, Ngo was dating Gemku. It's been a few months of Ngo Elapa, and Ngo has a girlfriend. He's a straight guy. So he has a girlfriend, and he introduced the girlfriend to Steve. The girlfriend would come over every now and then, and Steve loves her. I like her. Ngo loves her as well. So like, say right again, girl chills with us. We all drink together. When we go out, we all go out together. Sharp. Now things between Steve and I are going splendidly well. There isn't anything that has happened where I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? Or anything that made me feel uncomfortable. Nothing. Everything is going well. So now we've been like dating for over 7 months, because it's now again towards the end of the year. Let me not give timelines. Because remember, we started dating the previous year, almost September, right? Now it's July-ish. Yeah, also it's been a while. It's like 10 months-ish of us dating. And I'm spending a lot of time at Steve's place. I have my clothes there. I literally see my apartment once every 2 weeks. I just go to my place to take clothes, do laundry, and clean up, where to like dust and go back to Endoten. Because one thing about me, they are believer in daughter. One thing about me. So I literally just go to my place to like clean up and take more clothes and so I've literally moved in, but unofficially. So when Steve is working and when Steve is not home, because most times I would go with him if it's the weekend, but if it's during the week, I would be home because Steve works at night. Steve would go to these clubs that his people are at, and he would leave me at home, and I would be okay with it. Like, I was really okay. I wasn't like, but I'm acting like I'm okay. I was really okay about it. So he would go to the clubs and come back whenever, like in the AMs. And I was fine. Like, I was totally fine because I knew what he was doing when he was there. Steve wasn't fooling around. Steve wasn't the type of guy that would, like, was hitting on people and abe win abantu, like getting bums. And Steve wasn't that kind of guy. Well, that's not the picture he portrayed to me, yeah, bro? And it's nothing that ever happened. It's nothing that ever happened while we were together. Sharp. So during the week, TV. I am from work, I'm tired. Ngo would be from school, and we would chill together and watch TV. This is a big house, by the way. The house we are in is a big house. There are certain rooms that I've never been in, but like I just walk and start and then I close. And then it's like just another bedroom, I will close. So there's certain rooms that I don't really know what's in them. I know that it's a study, but I don't know if I open that drawer, what am I gonna find? Because I don't really go into that room. Yeah, bro? So I would literally be alone, and Ngo would join me. We would watch TV together, we would cook together. We were like chilling together literally every single day, unless it's the weekend. On the weekend, we all go out. It's me, it's Ngo's girlfriend, and Steve. Yeah, bro? Now, this one thing, sihleli no sibukele TV. Sibukele TV, and then so Ngo had an afro, yabo? Had an afro, and he asked when I can't base it. Yeah, so I'm sitting on the couch. Uno sits down on the floor, and his head is between my thighs, right? Ne? So his head is between my thighs. So we're watching TV. It's nothing deep. Well, I thought like it was nothing deep. Siyabhekisana, ndimbhekise. Afterwards, aphakamuno and goes to his cottage. We end the night, I sleep, Steve gets home. But now Steve, when he gets home, he gets into bed and we sleep. So, and I think that day, it was a Thursday, right? And it was a Thursday or Wednesday, but it was my week of working from home because we were doing 1 week out, 1 week in and 17. So I think it was my 1 week of being at home. So I was working from home. I wasn't waking up and going to the office. So I wake up in the morning, I take my laptop, I start working. I left Steve in the bed because he literally arrived in the AMs. So I woke up, I prepared for work, and I started working apparently. So when he then eventually wakes up, goes to his study, and after some time, when he comes back, he is furious. He is livid. He's like, oh, kumandi, nenza kwam, like how, I don't know how like he phrased this, but he was basically insinuating uba, oh, wena no, xa ndingekho nenza umama nomtata, yabo. When I'm not here, you are busy playing couple and playing house. So I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like, no, I saw what you two were doing. What are you talking about, baby? It's like, no, you were busy. Men's in talk on. Just make like, what should I have done at that point? Should I have said no? And like, there was nothing deep about it. He stood up and he left. He's like, no, his head was right on your crotch. No. But how do you think I was gonna be able to base him? I don't know, he could have waited for his girlfriend. And I'm like, you know what? I get what you're saying. I get that maybe it upsets you that there was physical touch between Mo and I, but it shouldn't, because first Mo is your nephew and I respect you. I would never do anything with someone that's your family, especially in your house while you and I are together. I wouldn't do that shit. So I really respect you and I wouldn't do anything like that. Trust me. Now I know for a fact that this man wouldn't put cheating past me because I was dating someone else and he took me from that person. So I'm sure he's worried about I'm going to lose him the same way that I found him. You understand? But I reassure him. Trust me, baby. Trust me. Trust me. I'm not devoted and I'm committed and I'm faithful to you. Sana, the things we tell my daughter to appease them and to stroke egos out, but that's a conversation for another day. So we have this conversation. I tell him, and like I reassure him and I reassure him about your baby, and he's like, okay, no, sharp. But now, question is, how do you know? How did you find out that Ongo and I besibhekisana? It's like, come here. We go to the study, he opens and he shows me a screen. The screen has multiple cameras, like multiple camera feeds. So I'm like, you have cameras in your house? He's like, yeah, I've got cameras. This is for security purposes. There's cameras outside and cameras inside. So I'm like, which part of the house doesn't have a camera? Actually, all lavatories don't have a camera. The bathrooms, and that's pretty much it. The bedrooms have cameras except for his bedroom. So all the other bedrooms have cameras, but his bedroom doesn't have a camera. The only camera that's there is facing the window so that whoever comes in through the window is seen. Yeah, well, I'm like, I've never seen these cameras. It's like, he comes and shows me, there's one. So I'm like, oh, interesting. In my head, I'm like, Thixo somandla sincedile noNqo asenza nto. Like imagine if uNqo benimbawela abe naye nibawela senze into ngesibetho esandla nguSteve. I wouldn't put izinto ze-criminal activity past him because you get us. Like I'm like sana zabulawa zinyama nguSteve ndakabapho Steve came out livid with ngombeso qa. Had you done anything besa kunya nyan. Time goes ke wethu. Steve and I are fine. Nqo nayo kugrenda khonto wrong apha endlini. Si right, si happy. Kumandi. uNqo ulahla icherry yakhe. The girlfriend that Nqo was dating breaks up with him. I'm sure they've been dating for like 3 months or 2. It's nothing. Well, I thought it was nothing deep, but from the conversation that Nqo and I were having that evening, it's another day where Steve is at work and I am at home. So Nqo is like bawling. He's telling me how hurt he is and like how he feels about the whole situation. Mind you, I never told Nqo that apparently there are hidden cameras, right? I never, like, it's nothing that I wanted to say to him because I was like, it can't come from me. This is not my house. If Steve wants Nqo to know that there are hidden cameras, yeah, he'll tell him, right? So it's not my job to tell him. And why should I tell him? I couldn't eat banana cousin. Sharp. So we're sitting on the couch. It's like a couch I saw. Like L couch, but we're sitting on the same side because we're watching the same TV. So I have a blanket on and my legs are on the couch. So we're talking. He's telling me how hurt he is, how he really was fucking with this girl. He really loved her. So now I'm very realistic. I'm like, it's been 3 months with her. She was just another bitch. You just arrived in Joburg, just have fun. Commitments with you. She's just a Joburg han. Blah 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 blah. I'm very giving him advice. Nambana, I will to play the streets. Sube ufuna izinto serious. You're still young, you're still in varsity, and I can't, like, you don't have to be out here wanting estate. Sharp. Unqo kuye ingati I am talking smack about this girl. He's like, why are you talking shit about this girl? What do you know about her? I'm like, I don't know this girl, mna. Athi kum Unqo, you know, usually when people talk shit about your partner, it's only because they want you. What do you mean? Are you trying to say I want you now? I'm trying to say I want you now because aibo. Yeah, well, I don't know our phone. Now, uhlebe sihleli ngalo. Sihleli so, right? Sihleli so, and I'm watching TV and he's sitting like this and he's like facing me. So as I'm saying aibo no. So he's like moving closer. One about Biki, I'm very animated. Hi, move, pegan. Mna dilibele into ye cameras, but kuna cameras apparently. Unqo is like, yeah, we're trying to flirt and play the Mac games, trying to like Mac on me. I'm like, I don't want them to now when. He's like, what does that have to do with anything? And to Steve, the same way that you are going to be older than me. What are you talking about? Yeah, well, it's like, no man, I really fucks with you. Like you is tweeted like that. Really fucks with you. No, your energy. What? Hey, guys, I'm one. Like your energy, I really fucked with your energy. When I met you for the first time, I knew, hey, come on, hi. Uzandibulalisa. How am I going to? Firstly, I am not attracted to him like that. Yeah, Bob? I'm not attracted to him like that. And sure, you know, he's really handsome, great body. He's sexy, but he's a kid compared to the people that I normally date, yeah, bro? So, yes, him and I were drinking, we were having wine, and you know how wine is, understand? Wine, so this thing happening where he even tried to like lean in for a kiss, and I was like, "Hi, wena, the fuck." We continued drinking, and ndidlulise engqondweni mana ayaba nomntana uzinqilele bethu. Sinqola watching TV, we're laughing good. I can't do wrong. Lo mfana, I don't know yenzeke kanjani guys, but uthe xa ephakama waphakama wandithi. So Unqo stood up and left and went to the kitchen. Xa ebuya andithi ndihleli on the couch and I'm pressing my phone. Xa ebuya afike ame phambi kwam andithi. Now I look up, as I look up, our lips meet. Like he literally goes in for the kiss and starts kissing me. I'm like, "Aibo, yebo." Now at this point, uyingqondo bana, shit, this boy just kissed me, and whatever that just happened now, we cannot take it back. I don't know where the server is, and I cannot even, like, there's cameras. The cameras caught us. The cameras caught him kissing me. Because let's be honest, I didn't kiss him, he kissed me, right? So the cameras caught him kiss me. The cameras don't have audio. So whatever that we were talking about, whatever conversation that was there, will not be caught on camera. The only thing caught on camera is the fact that we kissed, right? Ditaibo. And then I look the other, like where the camera is, I'm like, so, but there's a camera in the house. I'm like, "Hey, no, the fuck are you doing?" And I walk away. I go to the bedroom, and now I'm sitting there like, what the hell am I going to do? What am I gonna do? Because I know Steve is gonna come back in the morning. Steve is going to watch the footage, and Steve is going to see that, ooh, this boy kissed me. Yeah, but we kissed with this boy. To him, it's not going to look like he kissed me. It's gonna look like we kissed. So I'm like, what am I going to do, and how am I going to explain this? I am scared because I'm like, I don't know what Steve is capable of. Secondly, I'm like trying to find a way to say to Steve, "Hi man, it's not what it looks like," and without throwing this boy under the bus. But the only way for me to get out of this scot-free is throwing him under the bus. His family, I'm not. He can forgive this boy, but he will not forgive me for it cheating, because this is something that Steve really, really hates. Is someone who's a cheater, and someone who cheats on him, he really hates. We've had conversations about his previous relationships that ended because someone cheated and there was drama, and so I know how he feels about cheating. So I'm like trying to make up the words that I'm gonna use to explain to him. I am just anxious and nervous. I did not sleep a wink up until Steve was weekendly. When he gets home, obviously he's drunk. I don't want to have this conversation while he's drunk. And I'm like, I am not going to the office tomorrow. I want him when he wakes up, before he even watches footage, I must be the first person to tell him of what happened. Because I feel like if I tell him before he sees it, he's gonna have context before Abuke. So then I wake up in the morning and I take my laptop, I'm gonna work here in the bedroom so that when he wakes up, I see him before he goes to the study. Hey! And he 7 in the morning, and he wakes up. He's like, "Good morning, baby." He's very nice. He's very affectionate in the morning. But, "Hey, baby, how did you sleep?" He's like trying to hold me, and I am nervous as nuts. "Hey, Diti, baby, there's something I want us to talk about." He's like, "What?" "Diti, please don't react now. I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna show you something. So, unga reacti while I am telling you. Ne? I want you to see the full picture before you react." Nyanike avume umuntu wam, I tell him what happened. This story, this narrative from the beginning, Unqo was telling me about and he was really in a bad space. He was crying. He was expressing how he feels, and we were having wine, watching TV is on. And Ungo starts flirting with me. And when he was flirting, I don't think he really meant what he was saying, or he really wanted what he was doing. I think it was just a way that whole thing, to get over someone must get under someone else. So he just wanted a rebound, and he started flirting with me, and I quickly told him where to get off. And with that said, we then went back to sitting separately. And then I needed to was yonking about this happened. He stood up, went to the kitchen, came back, and he was the one musa and kissed me. But as soon as he kissed me, I pushed him away. Yeah, bro? He's furious. He's like, where is he? Little babies, please don't do that. Yeah, bro? Calm down before you deal with him. The girl, calm it down. Don't deal with him in your enraged state. It's like, no, where is he? Please, like, I know you wanna see what happened. Go and watch the footage. So he watches the footage, and then Ajikele now you're busy laughing. You wanted this. Hey, how? Like, what was I supposed to do? Was I supposed to throw a tantrum when the boy was flirting with me? Firstly, he was drunk, so like it wasn't serious to me, guys. Like, it wasn't serious, man. So I really don't know what was happening. So I laughed because I was nervous, not because it's something that I wanted to happen. Steve, all he's seeing is red. His eyes are scarlet red. I don't know if it's the anger or it's the papalas, but and he's looking at me with so much rage, to a point where I'm scared now. I'm scared now, and I think I'm gonna go to her because I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't wanna see what Steve is going to do to this boy. Yeah, boy? Steve goes to the cottage. He literally kicks the door down. Like, he kicks the cottage down. Tate from the bedroom, from the bed. I'm so bed and saw. But the fuck is wrong with you? Steve, you are this boy's uncle. You cannot fist fight with this boy. No. Now is a big man, because I'm like, guys, you know is that you two are not going to physically fight. I don't care ukuba you feel a certain type of way, and now you feel a certain type of way, but this is not how you are going to fix this. Yeah, well, now what happened is I told Steve what happened. Steve saw what happened. There are hidden cameras in the house, and he knows what happened. Izolo, you tried to kiss me, and he saw that. Yeah, well. No, I thought Ungo was gonna be on some. Oh, I'm so sorry. No. Ungo was like, but you wanted it. That's not what you were saying, is all. No, please be honest. Did you know there's cameras in the house? Yeah, because I don't want him to think the cameras don't pick up audio. Did you know there's cameras in the house? Steve saw everything. He knows the full story of what happened, and the reality and the truth of what happened. So the people I don't know, like, what do you mean? Because Steve saw everything. Steve heard everything. He knows everything. I told him everything. It's like, you wanted it. It's not what you were saying. No. I just Steve, I knew it. I saw you were laughing. You wanted it. I knew not to date someone like you. Hey, Diti, please don't say anything that you are going to regret. Right? Don't say anything in this state, because you're gonna say a lot of things that you can't take back. You're gonna say, someone like me, I don't even want you to explain what that means. I walked out of the cottage, the pineapple 2. I didn't hear anything. It was just silence. I thought as I'm walking out, nothing. They literally just stood there looking at each other. I walked into the house. I went into the bedroom. I started packing my things. I started packing my stuff. He comes back from ngaphandle. He's like, yeah, I think time apart is going to do us well. No, because I really want to think about what happened. It's sharp. So at this point, I don't want to explain myself. I already did. I told you what happened, and I don't want to go back and forth with him and like ruin his relationship with his nephew. It's like unfunny. So I'd rather take myself out of the picture. Guys, one thing about me, I avoid a lot of conflict. I avoid there's no confrontation. I'm not really like the avoider. So I pack my stuff and I'm like, are you gonna take me home? It's like, I'm not gonna do that. Find your way home. Sure. I found my way home. I went home and I'm sure I left some of my things there. I went home. He didn't call me. Didn't call me literally for the entire week while I was at home. And being at my place, I was like, I don't know. But you know what? This hurt and this disappointed at how he's handling this whole thing. He calls me a week later. He says, I am coming to your place. He comes to my place. When he gets there, I thought he's gonna call me again. I hear a knock. I open the door. It's Steve. Hi. Oh, hi. Yeah, boy. He has a bag. He says, I'm here to give you this. He gives me the bag and he turns and walks away. Relationship, no Steve. I was like, oh. Basically, he came to bring me everything that I'd left there. Didn't give me a chance to explain what had happened. He didn't give me an opportunity to be and him together and we talk and come to a resolution. None of that. That, you know what? It's okay. All is well, good and well, Kesana. I am not going to be. I didn't if you can phone my like I was like, if I can phone magacho itu. I reached out to Ngoba. So Steve and I broke up, and the reason why we broke up is the fact that you did not want to take accountability of what happened. No, message and but that boy never responded. He just blocked me. That is sharp, good and well way too. Nyani ke guys, yabe ikukuphela kwe relationship yam no Steve leyo. Nje kanjalo. No resolution, no closure, nothing. And Samantha like later told me, but now Steve is dating someone else now. It was like 3 weeks later, but now Steve is dating someone else. And I was like, this bitch is lying. All she just wants to do is to hurt me. She's lying. But I never really got to see Steve again because I stopped going to that club because Samantha and I fought. So I wasn't going there anymore. But yeah, but we moved on. We are bigger, we are better, and we are better. Okay? So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a huge thumbs up. Comment down below, subscribe to my channel, share this video. Super thanks me if you want and if you can. Tell everyone that you know, Ubana Onces here, we are here, we are back. Okay, and yeah guys, let's continue the conversation down below. If you have any questions, any suggestion for future videos, leave them all down below in the comments section. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.